Alright, I have another Rene of Paris Muse series wig to show you. I think I'm almost through them all. I've reviewed quite a few of them. Today we're looking at Luxe Sleek by Rene of Paris in the color Milky Opal R. And I like this color way more than I thought I might. Beautiful. We're going to cover everything about this wig and the color, and you can look at it inside and outside in this video. Let's talk about her. My name is Denise. I'm also known as Hey Wig Sister on Instagram and Facebook, and I love bringing you tons and tons of different wig styles and different colors to help you make a good decision on your wig wearing journey. And Rene of Paris sent me this piece along with a whole bunch of their other Muse series wigs so that I could show all of you, and I am so grateful for the opportunity because these are some fun wigs. Now, the Muse series is in general more of a fashion collection. Most of the pieces in the Muse series are more fashion forward and generally come in a lot of fashion colors versus kind of regular hair colors. This piece though, not only is it absolutely an everyday style, it also comes in more of the kind of regular hair colors than some of their other Muse series pieces. So there's a couple of brunettes, there's a couple of blondes. They do also have some fashion colors, but I think if you have looked at some of the Muse series wigs and you don't wear fashion colors, so you've been a little disappointed in the color options, this one has a few more. Let's take a look at this one from all sides. I put this one on my head during my unboxing and was just blown away. And this is exactly how she came out of the box, minus a little combing and a little finger styling. I've done nothing else to this piece. I just unboxed it 10 minutes ago. And sometimes it takes me a little while after an unboxing to do a review. Some wigs aren't as easy out of the box, and while I don't make any modifications to wigs before I review them, I do comb through them. I'll sometimes use a little water on them to sort of tame them. You know, I use the heat of my hands to try to get lift in the front. All the things I ever do, I tell you in my reviews, but this one needed nothing. Just so perfect out of the box. Now, this one is has a lace front and a left mono part. And it's more budget friendly than a lot of the major name brands these days. There's that lace front. Right now it retails for about $162 with my 30% off coupon code at Name Brand Wigs, which I'll put below and I'll link it. It's about $114. So you can really get this one for a good price, and it's great for every day. So I do think sometimes these more fashion forward wigs do come at a bit of a lower price point. But this one isn't just fashion forward. I'm just really blown away by it. I didn't expect it. There's that lace front, so you can see it's just temple to temple. There's that left mono part. Nice substantial ear tabs with soft material and bendable stays. We've got an extended nape, and we do have bra strap adjusters, and the rest is open wefted. Have I mentioned how surprised I am by this one? I think I've mentioned it more than I intended to, but I really was. You know, I guess because they sent me so many of their pieces to review, I'm just looking for my comb. I didn't really kind of look up all the wigs before I pull them out of the box. So I really am surprised when I pull it out because I'm not sure what I'm going to get. And I really expected this one to be more of a fashion piece than it really is. So great job, Rene of Paris. Now this does have heat-friendly fibers, which makes it feel so soft, buttery soft. Also not shiny. So one of the great benefits of heat-friendly fibers is that you don't get that synthetic shine that some regular synthetic wigs can have. And I do hear from a lot of you asking me how to deal with the shine with these heat-friendly fibers. It just looks really natural, not at all like a synthetic shine. And it does, I do think these heat-friendly fibers feel more like human hair, move more like human hair. Because it is a little bit longer and a little bit of the fibers will rub on your clothing, I think it's important that you know how to care for heat-friendly fibers. I have a video where I talk about that. Essentially, any parts of the wig that will get friction on them should have heat applied to them regularly. How often will really depend on how much you wear the wig, for how many hours at a time. You know, when the ends start to feel just a little bit frayed and frizzy, you'll want to take a little heat to it. Now, because this is not curly, I think this is going to be super easy to care for. I would just use a hot air brush with metal, not all plastic one, because I don't find that those tend to get hot enough for heat-friendly fibers. And that way you can either maintain this flip. We do have some flips on the end. If you don't like the flip, you can actually take that hot air brush and curl under with it. You'll be doing the double duty of putting heat on these fibers to help maintain them, and you can get this style delay the way you want it. Another option is a flat iron or a hot comb. You know, any type of heat tool that will apply enough heat to really smooth out those fibers. I was terrified of heat-friendly fibers. When I first started wearing wigs, I'd heard all kinds of negative things about them. I've learned now that wigs like this, really, really simple to care for. Now, fit. Rene of Paris is known to be a brand that runs fairly true to average, often just slightly smaller than average. So they're not really known to be like an average petite brand, but I do find some of their wigs to run smaller, and this one I believe is running a little bit smaller as well, which is actually a little bit unusual for the Muse series because a lot of those pieces tend to run a little bit larger because they're more fashion pieces. And I think when manufacturers are making wigs, they're thinking about who their target audience is. It really is. And for fashion wigs, it can be women with hair who are just looking to have fun with different colors, so those do tend to run a little bit larger. This one is fitting me really, really good, and I have a pretty small head. I'm a tiny bit of extra cap. I cannot pull it forward and bend it over like I can with some pieces. I do think that the circumference is running pretty close to average. I haven't cinched this one in, and it's very loose on my head. I have a 21¼ circumference. I do think it's a bit generously sized ear to ear because if I really pull it down, I can actually cover the top of my earlobe with the cap. It is fine when I tuck it up behind my ear. I'm not finding it terribly uncomfortable. I would likely wear a wig grip with this one, and that would help a lot. So I think it's running closer to average, but slightly smaller than average. There is some decent stretch, but I really wouldn't recommend this for more of an average large head measurement. Let's talk about density and permatease. So this is what they call a high density piece. I think it's moderate density. I don't think it has a ton of hair. I think part of that is the layering, so you can see it's not really thick at the bottom. And I actually think this would be really darling in a low ponytail. So if you get hot in your wigs, one way to combat that is to put a wig up. And I love to kind of put shorter wigs like this in a low pony, and then you can kind of pull the sides down, you can tuck the sides, you know, whatever your own personal style dictates, but I think this would be really cute in a low pony. And it doesn't feel like a ton of hair to me. I was just pulling it off my head because it is a little big. So I would call it a moderate density. It's not light density. And I think what contributes to it feeling like it's a little bit of a higher density is the permatease. So while this one has no permatease right here, no permatease on the top, it does have some permatease right back here. Can you see how it's sort of rounded back here? That is from the permatease. It isn't a lot of permatease, it's not heavy, and honestly when you're wearing it, you don't notice it because it's all behind you. So there isn't any permatease on the top, no permatease on the sides, just back there to give it more of a rounded profile. And I think that contributes to when you're touching it, it feels like really a lot of hair, but I don't think it is. I think it's the permatease. So I think I covered it all. Fibers, fit, volume, permatease, inside the cap. Let's talk about this really gorgeous color. It's called Milky Opal R. I really expected a fashion color based on that name, but it's not. It is a gorgeous rooted blonde. So we've got a really dynamic blend. I like to get out of the camera so you can just look at the wig itself, but I can't tell when I'm on that side. Let me go over here. All right. It's really a blend of like a creamy blonde. There's some white blonde in here. And then we've got a warm blonde, or I'm sorry, warm brown root. And the root, it's looking super dark in my viewfinder, almost like bleach blonde grow out. It does not look that dark in person. We'll get outside so you can see it outside. I do think it's a bit of a darker root, but it's not like a dark brown to a black. It's more of kind of a light to medium brown. It's actually very complementary to this color. If you are a brunette who struggles with blondes, this is a very bright blonde, nearly white, definitely dynamic. So if you haven't worn blondes, it might be too blonde for you, but this is a fun one for summer if you can do almost white blondes. Just a lot of bright blonde in here. And like I said, they do have other kind of normal natural colors on this particular piece. So if this isn't the blonde you like, I think they've got creamy toffee. I know they've got a couple of brunettes. So there's not a ton of color choice in this one, but there is some. And you can just see, throw her on, kind of run your fingers through her. She's ready to go. Super cute style. I think they did a fabulous job. Let's get outside so you can see this color outside. And I'd like to thank Rene of Paris for letting me have an opportunity to show this one. I'll put more details in the description. See you guys soon. All right, it's really windy, so you're gonna have a chance to see this one moving all around. Hopefully you'll still be able to see the color. I know it's easier to see when the hair is standing still. I also hope that you're able to see that this root isn't as dark as it looked inside. But the reality is, what you're seeing on the indoor portion isn't wrong. It's just how the light plays on the color. So when you're inside, that root may look darker. What a beautiful blonde though, isn't it? So I'm filming this on a Friday. My husband and I do try to go to dinner Friday nights. Nothing expensive. Sometimes a Mexican restaurant by us that's really reasonable. And I'm really thinking of surprising him with this wig. It's so fun. So tell me, should I? You're not going to see this video before tonight, but just a fun style. If you think you might like it, I say go for it and try it. It's really, really great. Thanks for watching. Hey friends, thanks so much for watching. Here are a few videos I think you might enjoy. Go ahead and click on one and watch.